Desire to put things in a box, to easily understand things, to judge things, to label things. This desire is an evolutionary built-in mechanism that you need to remove from your life as much as possible, because it does lead you astray. Now, there are certain things to which, if you think that alley looks unsafe, you shouldn't just disregard your label or judgment of that. You should probably just go somewhere else, right? Or don't go there or whatever. There are certain mechanisms for this, for physical safety. There are certain gut feelings about somebody or a situation. Like, yes, there's a lot of intuition built into who you are, but that's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when we take it to more of an external in our life degree, where we use it to judge people. We make comments. We want to fit somebody's personality or politician or this or that based on something they said into this little package of good or bad, right? Like that's what humans are naturally designed to do. We are tribalistic creatures. Nature designed us this way because we had to be that way in the wild, because any human you came across in the wild could eat you, could kill you, could take your women and children. We had to be suspicious of strangers. We had to be suspicious of anybody that looked different from us. This is just biology. But it does infect areas of our life that hold us back. And really, what you want to be able to do is you want to be able to have the self-awareness to be able to understand when your labels and judgments are useful and when your labels and judgments are leading you astray or muddying your thinking, and separate it and kind of use it strategically, right? So if I were to start talking about something controversial right now, right? Like, let's say socialism or racism or like the right to bear arms or censorship or freedom of speech or whatever. I mean, literally every topic that I've talked about, which is most of those topics I've talked about at least one form or the other on social media, there's almost always somebody that has something negative to say. Even though I'm talking about something like freedom of speech. Freedom of speech, to me, is an unalienable right that everybody should be for. Yet you literally have lots and lots of people that believe that there should not be freedom of speech because it might hurt somebody's feelings. Part of me wants to write these people off and just say they're completely and utterly moronic, because, I mean, in one way they are, but again, this is me labeling, jumping to judgments, etc. And what I've learned over the years is that there are many forms of intelligence, and there's a lot of very smart people, and this is kind of a scary thing too. There's a lot of very smart people in the world today that grow up and have high intellect and have high capability of doing a lot of things, accomplishing a lot of things, that have never had their ideas stress tested, and that really believe absurd things with no firsthand experience of it, right? Like socialism being an example, or any kind of collectivism being an example of, kids growing up in America having no idea how lucky they have it, yet trying to promote tearing down the thing they grew up in, this massive prosperity that they think they should tear it down because it has flaws, and because I'm going to build something better. Like, I'm lost where I was going with that one. In fact, I totally lost where I was going with that one. So judgment, labels. Yeah. So I guess we have to be wary of these judgments and labels. And so that was my point. Any topic's going to have left or right, and you're going to take something I would say. And if I say too many things that you don't like, you're going to put me in a box of just like, don't like, or I hate that person, or he's this or he's that, right? You're going to throw some labels on based on things I've said, when you really have no understanding of who I am as a person, or my life, or things I have done or haven't done, or whatever. Like, literally no idea. Like, you have no data, right? But the internet, and it's kind of short, like 2-second clip, read headlines only format, takes the worst parts of humanity and tribalism, and in like shoving you in a box thinking, it takes it to the nth degree. So for you, always try to figure out if you have enough information to make a judgment, especially on somebody's character. Like, that's what I see with politics that drives me crazy. like people love to demonize somebody or blame everything on somebody or whatever. I don't, in fact, I'm not even gonna get into it, but it's toxic for the most part. And the way people engage in politics is toxic. And our two-party system in America, like, it is tribalistic. It's this versus that. Like, I could not think of a worse system for humans to engage in than a two-party system. So when you're trying to evaluate somebody or something, I mean, this is very much around people, but, really anything, you have to ask yourself, like, do you have enough data? Do you have enough information? And are you being aware of your own bias, your own prejudice, your own judgment? I don't really like the word prejudice, but I guess it is there. Like, are you aware of that? Are you aware of what your brain wants to think and how you want to fit things into nice, neat little labels because you don't have a ton of time to do research. So you just want to know, right? It's very dangerous thinking. And we all fall victim to it one way or the other because our brain has to take shortcuts known as heuristics because there's so much information around us. In fact, I heard something recently about autism. The theory, it was Lex Friedman's podcast. He's a neuroscientist or something. And he was saying how they're starting to see signs that maybe something like autism is some kind of inability to filter out the massive information around us. So like that's why they kind of like sounds and people and too many things going on. They get very overwhelmed because their brain can't really block out a lot of the stimuli. Whereas, regular people are able to very silo off what they let in and we make mental shortcuts. Even our eyes, for example, like right here, apparently I can't even see this, but I can kind of see it because my brain fills in my peripheral what it thinks is there. Like it knows that my hand is there, so I can kind of fill that in. Like it's just fascinating stuff with the brain. Our brain has to take shortcuts. The worst shortcuts that it can take is taking, let's just stick with people, a quote or one thing they said or this or that, or even like somebody that has a different belief system than you. Even if you think they're wrong, it should really have nothing to do with what you think about that person. Everybody's allowed to have their own belief system. I mean, that's part of freedom of speech and freedom of thought and freedom of assembly and all that. When you make those judgments, though, because somebody doesn't fit in your little tribe box, this little box of like people that you approve that are good by you, right? We have to get out of sorting people into these boxes because, I mean, that's what the internet is doing. I had a girl unsubscribe from my newsletter the other day because I put a link to my Parler profile. I've been using Parler myself, mostly to post stuff. It's the freedom of speech platform. And I don't trust big tech. I think I know they're censoring and they're doing all stuff. And I wanted to do my part in building a free speech platform because I believe in free speech. She said that it is basically a racist platform and it's this platform, that, and there's always people that are doing like anti-Semitic stuff and like, I don't know. She was basically saying the platform is racist. Kind of like the people that say like guns kill people when really people kill people, but I won't even get into that. But I just thought it was really fascinating that she's like, I'm unsubscribing for your newsletter because you promoted Parler, and Parler is, in her words, basically racist. And I was like, what? Like, are you crazy? I mean, because you can say the same thing about Twitter, Instagram, the world, internet, anything. Like a country, a state. I mean, if you want to put things in these neat little boxes, good, bad, racist, not racist, whatever, based on like a few data points that you want to basically mumble together, you're going to become an extremely fragile thinker and make really dumb decisions and just otherwise be stupid and blind in a lot of ways. And that's how I felt about this person because I guarantee you she's not a stupid person. But her email and her response to my social media link, just a link saying join me on Parler, is stupid. She is being stupid with that. And if that kind of stupidity infects her brain in other ways in her life, she's going to have a lot of stupid in her life. And if she does it enough, if she's 51% stupid, is she stupid? I mean, I don't know. Like, that's kind of a value judgment you can put on yourself. If you're doing 51% of things that are stupid, or you're seeing the world, through 50 to 60% of your worldview is through this, like, these stupid lenses that you've put over your eyes because of just lack of a lot of understanding, lack of wanting to think hard, lack of critical thinking, lack of knowing history. Like, does that make you stupid? I mean, I don't know, maybe. In my book, it would be. If I was living half my life through stupidity, you could call me stupid. You'd have every right to. I'd call myself stupid. So just be aware. Be aware of our desire to label and judgment and your desire to put things in a box. Because anytime you jump to conclusions, anytime you take in a few data points or one thing or whatever, and you try to use that to create an entire worldview or an entire perception or label or judgment of a thing or of a person, you are being very stupid. You are being fragile-minded, you're being stupid, you're being biased, and it might not hurt you in that one situation you do it, but if you do it enough in your life, it will have negative consequences. It will make you more likely unhappy person, a less intelligent person. You will remove your ability to critically think, and this could affect you in lots of ways. So don't do it. Stupid.